quickly approaching, and that means it's another holiday with some family, eating a bunch of food and celebrating and spending a lot of really amazing time together. Staying on top of your nutrition in these scenarios is always difficult. Today, I'm gonna give you my top strategies for how to make it work for you. You're going to a holiday dinner. There's gonna be tons of dishes. There's gonna be lots of sweets, lots of really, really dense, caloric, delicious meals. So how do you manage all this temptation? Couple different strategies that I'm gonna give to you that really have helped all the people that we have worked with. And there's so many, but these are my top few. My first tip is my favorite, and that's it's easier to change your environment than it is to change your mind. Often these meals are served family style, so meaning that if there's gonna be a buffet somewhere, you take your plate, you fill up your plate, and then you go sit at your seat. If you happen to be eating at a family dinner that's like that, make sure that when you're sitting and eating your meal, you're not facing the buffet. How many of you have been to a buffet, you're sitting eating your meal, and there you see the rest of the buffet in front of you and you're already thinking about the next thing that you're going to eat? It's much easier if you have your back facing towards the food so you're not thinking about your next meal and you're actually getting full with the food that you're already eating. The same thing goes for bread that's on the table. It's gonna be a lot easier to just remove the bread from the table. It's out of sight, out of mind. That really does work than having to use your willpower to avoid having the bread as it's staring you right in the eye, begging for you to eat it. Another way to change your environment to make it suit your goals is if you do have some children that are going to be having mac and cheese or sweets and things that you're definitely not going to be able to make fit into your nutrition plan, is make that stuff as hard to access as possible. So put it in a different room, don't have it near the food that you're going to be eating, and then it's gonna be you're gonna have an extra decision to make if you're going to participate in some of that food. You're gonna have to go to a different room, you're gonna have to take a little bit extra effort before you get to actually have that food. So try and make things a little bit harder that you don't actually want to be eating and that are very tempting for you. The holiday time of year is hard for everybody, so you can be the example that comes into the holiday meal and creates some healthier or more friendly options that everyone can participate in. Nobody likes that feeling after the holidays of feeling guilty or overindulging and eating way too much. So take your favorites and see if you can opt to change it so that you only have a couple things that are extra indulgent and everything else you've created a healthy alternative. I'm sure your family won't be upset. Saying no and resisting temptation is really hard. We don't want to make other people feel bad. We really appreciate if other people have made food for us, but at the same time, we really want to stay on top of our goals. So some boundaries that I've seen work really well, and one in particular that's worked really well for me, is having an ally. That means it's gonna be a lot harder for you to say no to temptation, but if you have somebody else who's helping you and steps in and is there to support you, it's gonna be a lot easier. So one great example is for me, going to my husband's family for holiday dinners. They live in South Louisiana. We've got lots of crawfish etouffee. We have spinach madeleine. There's so many indulgent meals that I absolutely love and think is delicious. When someone offers me a meal, it's really hard for me to say no. But if my husband knows beforehand that I need some help resisting that kind of temptation, he can step in and say, hey, we're not gonna be eating that today. We really decided that we're gonna really stick to this particular meal. Having somebody else that's got your back is gonna make saying no a lot easier. If you're standing at the holiday dinner table, you're looking at the pie and you're thinking, how could I possibly say no to this delicious pie? My favorite strategy for this is just to make it 2 minutes harder. What does that mean? Make the decision 2 minutes harder. You're thinking in your head, I'm really just about to go grab a slice of pie. Take 2 minutes, walk away from the pie, and if you're still thinking about it 2 minutes later, sure, go ahead and have a slice. Maybe have a little bit of a smaller slice than you normally would have. But maybe in those 2 minutes, you've decided that it's just not, you've forgotten about it, and it's not exactly what you want to be eating. So try and make the gap between thinking about it and taking it longer and longer, and it's probably gonna make you less likely to overindulge. The one thing at Working Against Gravity that we pride ourselves on is teaching our members when it's okay to indulge and when it's not appropriate to do so. Times like the holidays, sometimes staying with tradition and having that pie that your grandma makes every single year is gonna be a little bit more worth it than being 100% precise with your nutrition. So working with a coach or working with someone else to make those decisions for you, there's going to be a difference between overindulging just to have overindulgences and also just participating in memories and moments that bring joy to your life. So that's what Working Against Gravity does to help you find what works for you in terms of your lifestyle. So if you really do want to have that piece of pie with the rest of your family and it's a memory that you're going to cherish forever, then go for it. But you've made that decision, so just know that you shouldn't feel guilty about the next day, or just don't even get on the scale the next day if you feel like it's going to be a problem. Just enjoy the moment, be present, and love the people that you're with. I hope you have a great holiday celebrating Easter with your friends and family. I hope you also make good decisions and you can still feel happy that you're making progress towards your goals and avoid that guilt and shame after the holiday meal.